It's come to my attention that the last time we talked about the Proud family on this channel, it's when we discussed that onion-haired menace, Dejanay Jones. So let's fix that and talk about one of my personal favorite characters in the entire show, Suga Mama. Similar to her son Oscar, Suga Mama is basically a cartoon staple. She's the hip, radical grandparent who's always more fun and knowledgeable than the parents. Or at least the dad. So many characters have fit into this same archetype of the cool grandparent, but Suga Mama does it right. But that's not really what we're going to be talking about here. That's only the surface of what Suga Mama is. She also fits another archetype that I feel doesn't really get talked about all that much. Similar to how her son Oscar is the dumb dad done right, Suga Mama is the bad parent done right. And if you're confused by that, don't worry, that's why I made this video. Let me explain. Suga Mama is pretty close with the Proud family in general. She gets along very well with her daughter-in-law, Trudy, and loves her grandkids, especially Penny. But her relationship with her youngest son, Oscar, is where things get complicated. A lot of people seem to think that Suga Mama doesn't like Oscar, and judging just by what we see on screen most of the time, yeah, that's an easy assumption to make. She calls him names, she slaps him around, she makes fun of his cooking, but sometimes, these actions are justified. She usually only hits or insults Oscar when he does it first, and when it comes to his food, come on, Proud snacks can kill a person if they're not careful, so I think it's okay. The main thing to point out here is that none of this has malice. She's not trying to hurt Oscar for some kind of ego trip or to make him feel bad about himself. She's just doing this to put him in his place when he's acting badly, or when he's about to poison the town. And once again, I must emphasize that, more often than not, Oscar's the one who initiates the fight, and Suga Mama is the one to end it. For contrast, let's take a look at some parents that do this wrong. Mr. and Mrs. Turner from the Fairly Odd Parents. Very rarely does it actually seem like they care about Timmy. They put him down, they neglect him, they force him to stay with Vicky all the time. His happiness and well-being is never taken into account, and that's mostly because they're selfish and vindictive. Maybe not intentionally vindictive, but let's face it, they never wanted Timmy in the first place, they wanted a little girl. So when Timmy popped out and he most certainly wasn't a girl, the Turners, perhaps subconsciously, decided to treat Timmy poorly, and seemingly nothing he does can make it right. Oh sure, there are some times where they act like a big happy family or where they have some kind of forced bonding, but for one, it never sticks, and two, it's always really shallow. Except in Channel Chasers, since that was supposed to be the series finale. And it should have been. Sure, Suga Mama wasn't exactly the best parent to Oscar, and she still isn't. But at the end of the day, we know that she'll always stand by Oscar and he holds a special place in her heart. Just not as big of a place as his older brother, Bobby. This is another very big factor to Suga Mama's character, that she favors her older son Bobby over her younger son, Oscar. And the strange part is, it doesn't seem like she's aware of it. Suga Mama has retroactively gone into her head and has altered memories she's had with Bobby to be about Oscar. All those swimming lessons, guitar lessons, vacations, they were for and with Bobby. Not Oscar, he wasn't a part of that whatsoever. The reason all of this is happening is because of her upbringing. We don't know that much about Suga Mama's past.
What? There's a whole episode about it in the reboot.
We don't know all that much about Suga Mama's past, but what we do know is that she had a very similar relationship with her parents as Oscar and Bobby have with her. She had an older sister named Spice who was a little bit more talented than her, given the fact that she had telekinesis. And this caused Spice to be the favorite kid, leaving Suga Mama to get left behind. She was the second choice. She was the one who was excluded from everything. Sound familiar? As it turns out, this is something that kind of runs in the family. The older or more talented kid is the one who gets all the affection. Meanwhile, the more average or clumsier one gets pushed off to the side. In this case, Bobby was shown to have been nurtured a lot when he was younger. All of his talents, all of his interests, he was allowed to explore them, to mixed results. Sure, he's decently talented at what he does, but he still doesn't really have a stable job and he lives with his mom. Oscar would be in the same position too. He wasn't exactly talented or coordinated or successful in any way, although he did have that one chance at becoming a professional basketball player, but in typical Oscar fashion, he screwed it all up, and then all that success, fame, and wealth went to Wizard Kelly instead. And to this day, Oscar hasn't really changed. He's gone into the food industry and is a total failure. He's clumsy, he's awkward, he's irresponsible, and if it wasn't for Trudy bringing in some sizable paychecks with her veterinarian job, he and the kids would probably be homeless. Would he, like Bobby, have turned out differently if his talents ended up being supported by his family? Who can really say? And hey, Oscar's doing alright at least. He's got a good family, he's got a good house, he's got a job, and of course the love of his mom. She just doesn't have a really good way of showing it. That's another thing that separates her from the other bad parents in animation, is that at no point do you ever doubt that Suga Mama actually cares about her sons. Both of them. If she didn't care about Oscar, why would she keep coming to see him every day? She practically lives at the Proud House. Yes, you could also argue that she's there to see the kids and Trudy as well, and yes, that's true. But she is also there to see Oscar, it's just that Oscar acts like a buffoon every time she shows up. There's also an example that comes from my favorite episode. Tastes like... That's the name of the episode, it doesn't finish yet. Anyways, Suga Mama's baked good recipe for what she calls get up and go bars gets some major attention from snack food companies. All over the nation, the biggest names. But she doesn't want to work with any of them. The only one she wants to work with is Proud Snacks. Keep in mind, she makes fun of Proud Snacks relentlessly. She, like everyone else, acknowledges that they're a good substitute for rat poison, but that doesn't matter to her. She wants to work alongside her son and be a success. Sure, she accepts an unfair deal, but Oscar's the one who gave her that deal in the first place, and he wouldn't listen when Suga Mama was trying to tell him that she would actually work for free. And of course we get some nice mother and son moments in the series finale, the Proud Family movie.
That's not the series finale, there's a reboot!
A nice series finale, I love it. There are a lot of lessons that Suga Mama provides to aspiring writers or creators when it comes to making a bad parent that's still supposed to be in the kids' lives. Because if you're making a bad parent like, say, Clay Puppington, who's supposed to be the villain, go all out, what's stopping you? But when they're supposed to be part of the main cast or supporting cast, and the audience is supposed to like them, then take a few pages from Suga Mama's book. Number 1. Let there be a reason for them to treat the kid badly. Whether it be some psychological abuse that they faced when they were a kid, or the kid they're mistreating acting like a doofus. Give them a motive. Notice how I didn't say justification, because if you're writing a bad parent, there's basically no way to justify that. A bad parent's a bad parent. Sort of a sequel point to the first one. Number 2. Make the kid in question do something to deserve this. Again, Oscar's not a bad person. We made a whole character quest video talking about how he's a great dad and character, but he makes a lot of mistakes. Have you seen some of his B stories? So if you want to make the parent knock some sense into them or give them what they're owed, then okay. But then there's the most important point, number 3, show that deep down the parent actually cares. Suga Mama's got a heart. She cares about her sons deeply, even if she does prefer one over the other. But with that said, she still does care about her younger son. In Suga Mama's case, we've already established that she doesn't really know what she's doing. But then there's this fan theory that I've heard about which states that the reason Suga Mama still coddles Bobby to this day is because, in all honesty, he still needs her. Despite all the love and nurturing that Bobby got when he was younger, he still hasn't really gone anywhere in life. He still lives with his mom in order to get by. Oscar, on the other hand, while inept, does have Trudy to help fund the family's lifestyle, and also has some friends and family to keep him in line. No matter what, Oscar's gonna be okay. Someone's gonna be there to prevent him from blowing himself up or causing an apocalypse. Bobby, on the other hand, not really. Aside from his mom and some random woman here and there, who does he really have? I wasn't so sure about this theory at first, But the more I've thought about it, yeah, it kinda clicks. At least it does to me. Everybody's perception is different, of course. But no matter what the perception, I'm sure we can all agree that when it comes to these bad parent archetypes, Suga Mama's the one who does it the best. Take notes, Turner family. Well, folks, thanks for watching the video. What'd you guys think? What's your favorite Suga Mama and Oscar moment? And what do you think about that fan theory? Comment below and let me know, because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. And now it's time to thank our wonderful Patreon people, starting with our Masters of Fate, Manny Paredes, Kev, Leafstorm, Ryan Williams, Chan 11, and Woody Woo. And now for the executive producers. Unkale, Blackjack, Edward Haas, H.R. Hoffman, Who Else But Zane, YouTube Milkwad, Albert Robinson, I Am Fove, Aaron Vasquez, Ravioli Supremo, Wes Franklin, and Indiscreet One. If you too would like your name read at the end of every Media Mementos video, then why not donate to the Patreon? It doesn't cost too much, and there's a link in the description below for you to check out. Alright friends, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, okay? Alright.